Not every great game comes with a blockbuster budget. Some AA games pack more punch than their AAA counterparts. And today we're counting down 12 underrated gems that deserve a spot in your gaming library. From emotional narratives to ambitious open worlds, these games prove that passion often beats production value. We're starting with a game that's as thought-provoking as it is terrifying, Soma. Picture this, an underwater facility where every creak and groan of the metal around you sends chills down your spine. It's dark, it's damp, and you're alone. Or are you? Set in an underwater facility, this sci-fi horror masterpiece explores deep questions about identity and consciousness while keeping you on the edge of your seat. Imagine wandering through dimly lit corridors, only to be faced with puzzles that make you question what it means to be human. It's like a philosophy class crashed into a horror movie, and somehow it works. What really gets me about Soma is how it's more than just a horror game. It's a haunting experience that sticks with you long after you've played it. I remember finishing the game and just sitting there, staring at the credits, my mind racing with thoughts about the nature of existence. It's one of those rare games that doesn't just entertain, it makes you think. Now brace yourselves because we're shifting gears. From existential dread to a post-apocalyptic wasteland. At number 11, we've got LX. This game throws fantasy and sci-fi into a blender and hits puree, creating an ambitious open world that's unlike anything else out there. Jetpacks, mutants, and magic. That's right, you're flying around with a jetpack one moment, fighting off mutated creatures the next, and then casting spells like you're in some medieval fantasy. It's like the developers couldn't decide on one genre, so they just said, why not all of them? And let me tell you, it works. The story keeps you guessing at every turn. One minute you're making alliances with gritty rebels, and the next you're navigating the political intrigue of high-tech cities. It's a wild ride from start to finish. Sure, it's not perfect. There are moments where the graphics might glitch out, or a mission doesn't quite land as intended, but honestly, the creativity and ambition behind LX more than make up for its flaws. I remember getting lost in its sprawling landscapes for hours on end, constantly surprised by what I found around each corner. Speaking of ambition, how about some high-octane shooter action? Number 10 brings us Shadow Warrior 3, a game that's all about fast-paced, over-the-top action. Imagine diving headfirst into a world where everything explodes. Seriously, everything. This game doesn't believe in subtlety. It's got jaw-dropping visuals that'll make you do a double take and humor that lands just right. Think Deadpool meets Doom, one-liners and chaos galore. You're playing as Lo Wang, a wisecracking ninja who's all about slicing and dicing enemies while tossing out hilarious quips. The combat is explosive, with a mix of guns, swords, and gadgets that make every encounter feel fresh. I mean, who wouldn't want to take down demons with a katana in one hand and a grenade launcher in the other? What really sets Shadow Warrior 3 apart is its sheer entertainment value. It doesn't try to be deep or philosophical, it just wants you to have fun, and it nails it. You're constantly moving, constantly shooting, constantly laughing. There's no downtime, just pure, unadulterated chaos. And that's why it's so underrated in a sea of big-budget shooters that take themselves way too seriously. Shadow Warrior 3 is a breath of fresh air. It's like the developers remembered that games are supposed to be fun. Alright, let's shift gears now to a vampire tale with some serious moral dilemmas. At number 9, Vampire offers a unique take on the action RPG genre. Picture this, you're Dr. Jonathan Reed, a newly turned vampire and a renowned physician in post-World War I London. The city's plagued by the Spanish flu, and you're caught in the middle of it all, torn between your oath to save lives and an insatiable thirst for blood. The game's atmosphere pulls you in from the get-go. Foggy streets lit by flickering gas lamps, the distant sound of carriages clattering over cobblestones, and the ever-present sense of dread that something's lurking in the shadows. It's like stepping into a gothic novel, complete with moral quandaries that'll keep you up at night. The choices you make as Jonathan aren't just black and white. Do you give in to your vampiric urges and feed on an innocent civilian, gaining power but losing a part of your humanity? Or do you resist, remaining weak but holding on to your principles? Each decision ripples through the game's narrative, affecting not only your character, but the fate of entire districts within London. What really makes Vampire underrated is its commitment to making every choice matter. There are no easy answers here. Every life you take or save carries weight. The dialogue is rich with tension, forcing you to carefully consider each response. And let me tell you, some of those conversations left me sweating bullets. From blood-soaked streets to the dusty roads of the wasteland. Number 8 is Mad Max, a brutal and atmospheric action game set in a post-apocalyptic world. Imagine this, you're cruising through the desolate wasteland in your tricked-out, heavily armored car. The sun beats down mercilessly, and the landscape stretches out in an endless expanse of sand and ruins. Every encounter feels like a fight for survival, with raiders popping out from nowhere, eager to turn you into roadkill. Mad Max nails the feel of its cinematic counterpart with intense car combat, exploration, and survival elements. You're constantly scavenging for scrap to upgrade your vehicle and gear. Each upgrade feels hard-earned, making every victory that much sweeter. I remember my first epic car chase. I'm swerving to avoid incoming fire, ramming enemy vehicles off cliffs, and using my trusty harpoon to rip parts off enemy cars. It's pure adrenaline. The world is packed with secrets waiting to be discovered, hidden caches of supplies, abandoned strongholds crawling with enemies, and the occasional oddball character who needs your help or poses a threat. There's never a dull moment in this barren wasteland. Despite its stellar open-world design and thrilling gameplay, Mad Max often gets overlooked. Maybe it's because it came out around the same time as some heavy hitters in the gaming world, but trust me, it's a blast. The gritty atmosphere and relentless action keep you hooked from start to finish. Now let's rewind to a heartwarming story inspired by Chinese folklore. At number 7, Enslaved Odyssey to the West delivers a beautiful and emotional narrative journey. This game, loosely based on the classic Journey to the West, takes you through a post-apocalyptic world filled with lush environments and treacherous ruins. I remember stepping into the shoes of Monkey, a rugged loner who's got more muscles than manners. You start the game escaping from a slave ship, meeting Trip, a tech-savvy young woman who needs your help to survive. The twist? She slapped a headband on you that can fry your brain if you don't follow her orders. Talk about motivation. The visuals are stunning, with vibrant landscapes that contrast beautifully against the decaying remnants of human civilization. Platforming through these environments feels fluid and satisfying. Every jump, climb, and fight pulls you deeper into this hauntingly beautiful world. But what truly sets Enslaved apart is its storytelling. The bond between Monkey and Trip evolves naturally as you progress, from reluctant allies to something deeper. Their interactions are heartfelt and genuine, making you care about their journey and its outcome. It didn't get the attention it deserved back in the day, overshadowed by bigger titles. But if you give it a chance, Enslaved offers an unforgettable experience that blends action, emotion, and breathtaking visuals in a way few games manage. Now how about exploring a space station full of danger and mystery? Number 6 is Prey, a sci-fi thriller that's all about survival and exploration. Imagine waking up on a space station called Talos 1, only to find out that everything you thought you knew is a lie. The station's sleek hallways and futuristic rooms hide dark secrets, not to mention shape-shifting aliens called the Typhon. These creatures can mimic everyday objects, turning an innocent coffee cup into your worst nightmare. Navigating Talos I is a masterclass in tension and clever level design. Each room, corridor, and hidden passage offers new challenges and opportunities for exploration. You're constantly on edge, never knowing if the chair in the corner might suddenly sprout legs and attack. What sets Prey apart is its sense of freedom. The game gives you a toolkit of unique abilities and weapons, letting you tackle problems in your own way. Whether it's hacking into security systems, using telekinetic powers to manipulate objects, or just bashing alien skulls with a wrench, there's no wrong way to survive. It's one of Arcane Studios' best works, but it somehow never got the spotlight it deserved. Maybe it was overshadowed by other big releases at the time, or perhaps its complex narrative flew under the radar for many gamers. Either way, Prey is a gem that shines bright once you give it a chance. Let's leave the stars behind and step into medieval Europe. At number 5, Kingdom Come: Deliverance takes us to the gritty realism of medieval Europe. No dragons, no magic, just a historically accurate RPG with complex choices and a focus on realism. Imagine stepping into the shoes of Henry, a blacksmith's son thrust into the chaos of 15th century Bohemia. The game doesn't hand you epic powers or mythical quests. Instead, you get raw, unfiltered medieval life, muddy villages, political intrigue, and the struggle to survive in a world that's as unforgiving as it is detailed. I remember my first foray into Kingdom Come: Deliverance. The combat system alone sets it apart. It's not your typical hack and slash. You've got to think, plan your moves, and master the intricate mechanics of swordplay. It's challenging, but oh so rewarding when you finally get the hang of it. The attention to detail is mind-blowing. Every character has a routine, every decision ripples through the story, and every mission can be approached in multiple ways. I found myself lost in side quests that felt as significant as the main plotline. One moment I was tracking down a missing priest, the next I was embroiled in a conspiracy against the local lord. Kingdom Come's authenticity and non-linear storytelling make it a standout among RPGs. It's like living history, a game that doesn't just entertain but immerses you in another era entirely. Next, we journey into a futuristic dystopia with plenty of challenges. At number 4, The Surge 2 combines sci-fi and souls-like mechanics for a challenging and rewarding experience. Picture this, you're in a dystopian future where society has crumbled and survival is a brutal daily grind. The city of Jericho looms around you, its neon lights flicker ominously, casting long shadows over the desolate streets. This isn't just any action RPG, it's a game that forces you to think on your feet. The Surge 2's combat is where it truly shines. The unique limb targeting system adds a layer of strategy to every fight. You can focus on specific body parts of enemies to weaken them or target limbs to harvest gear for your own upgrades. It's a visceral, satisfying mechanic that makes each encounter feel intense and rewarding. I remember my first real battle in Jericho City. A towering enemy blocked my path, its mechanical limbs whirring with deadly precision. Instead of hacking away aimlessly, I aimed for its legs, knowing that taking them out would cripple its mobility. With each well-placed strike, I felt the thrill of strategy meeting skill. The dystopian setting grips you from the start, from the crumbling skyscrapers to the eerie silence of abandoned parks. Every corner of Jericho City tells a story of despair and resilience. The environmental storytelling pulls you in, making you feel like a lone warrior in a world gone mad. For fans of tough but fair gameplay, this is a gem waiting to be discovered. The Surge 2 doesn't just challenge you, it rewards patience, precision, and perseverance. From a dystopian future to a fantastical colonial past. Taking the number 3 spot is Greedfall, an RPG that offers a rich colonial fantasy world. Imagine stepping into the shoes of Desarde, a diplomat navigating the uncharted island of Tir Fradi. The landscape is a blend of lush forests, towering cliffs, and ancient ruins that hint at a deep history. You'll face moral dilemmas that force you to choose between loyalty to your home country and the indigenous people of the island. Every choice matters. Build alliances with different factions, each with their own agendas and secrets. I remember one particular moment when I had to decide whether to side with a group of settlers or help a native tribe protect their sacred lands. It wasn't just about right or wrong, it was about understanding the nuances of each side. The world is beautifully crafted, full of magic and mystery. There's something enchanting about wandering through a forest at dusk, with fireflies lighting your path and the distant sound of mystical creatures echoing through the trees. The atmosphere pulls you in, making every quest feel like an adventure. Why is Greedfall underrated? It doesn't have the polish of bigger titles. Sometimes you'll notice a bit of jankiness in animations or textures, but what it lacks in polish, it more than makes up for in story and atmosphere. The narrative depth and emotional weight of your decisions are second to none. From magic and diplomacy to a journey through the mind. At number 2, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice takes us on an emotional and psychological journey. Imagine stepping into the shoes of Senua, a Celtic warrior on a harrowing quest to save the soul of her dead lover. The world around you is dark, haunting, and beautiful all at once. From the moment you start, the game grips you with its stunning visuals and immersive audio design. The whispers of voices in your head aren't just a gimmick, they're an integral part of the experience, drawing you deeper into Senua's mind. Every step she takes is fraught with tension. The landscape shifts between stark reality and nightmarish visions, mirroring Senua's struggle with psychosis. You feel her fear, her pain, her determination. It's not just a game, it's an exploration of mental health that hits hard. The combat is intense but intimate. Senua wields her sword with grace and fury, battling grotesque creatures that seem to emerge from her darkest fears. Each fight feels personal, a reflection of her inner demons rather than mere enemy. Why is Hellblade underrated? It was created by a small team at Ninja Theory, yet it rivals some of the biggest AAA titles in quality and impact. art. The care and detail put into every aspect, from the motion capture performances to the meticulously crafted environments, are astonishing. It's a testament to what passion and dedication can achieve in game development. And now the top underrated AA game that deserves all the praise. Finally, at number 1, we have A Plague Tale: Innocence, a dark, emotional story of survival and love. You'll guide Amicia and her little brother Hugo through a world ravaged by the Black Death, dodging swarms of rats and deadly enemies. Imagine the fear and desperation of 2 siblings trying to survive against all odds. Amicia, with her determined gaze and makeshift weapons, leads Hugo through narrow alleyways and desolate fields. Every shadow holds a potential threat. Every rustle could be a sign of the ravenous, plague-ridden rats that swarm the streets. I remember one moment vividly. We were sneaking through an abandoned village, the moonlight casting eerie shadows on crumbling walls. The sound of rats scurrying in the darkness made my skin crawl. I had to use my wits, crafting makeshift torches and luring enemies into traps just to keep us alive. The bond between Amicia and Hugo is palpable. You feel their love, their fear, their hope in every interaction. With a narrative and presentation on par with AAA titles, this game is a true hidden gem. The attention to detail in the world building is incredible. The dilapidated towns and overgrown forests are hauntingly beautiful. The music swells with emotion, drawing you deeper into the story. It's more than just a game. It's an experience that lingers long after you've put down the controller. Why is it underrated? Perhaps it flew under the radar amidst bigger releases, or maybe its grim subject matter wasn't for everyone, but those who give it a chance find a poignant tale of resilience and love that's hard to forget. From the emotional depths of Hellblade to the haunting atmosphere of Soma, these 12 AA games prove that great gaming experiences don't always need blockbuster budgets. Hellblade took me on a harrowing journey through Senua's mind, blending intense combat with a raw exploration of mental health. On the other hand, Soma plunged me into the eerie corridors of an underwater research facility, questioning the very nature of consciousness and identity. Enjoyed the list? Hit that like button, share your own underrated favorites in the comments, and subscribe for more gaming content. Your support helps us bring you more deep dives into hidden gaming treasures. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes smaller studios create the biggest surprises. See you next time.